Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Songs of the Same Riff on the Scratch Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grim Show. I am the Dude.
And I'm Grim. And today we are going to talk about the songs Drive by Incubus and Pieces of Me by Ashlee Simpson.
I got to admit, Grim, I did not think we would ever have a day where we would be discussing Ashlee Simpson on this podcast, but that day has come.
Dude, it has. It has. And I can't remember offhand, so pardon me for being a bad friend, bad person. But there was a website that I stumbled upon and kind of looked it over because I had this idea of this whole Songs of the Same Riff kind of idea about looking at two songs that kind of sounded the same. Right. And this was one of the songs where I knew Drive by Incubus fairly well. I mean, if you listen to alternative rock radio at any point in your life, you've probably heard that song. And so when it talked about these two songs, I listened to Pieces of Me, and we'll get into it more. But I think there's enough similarity where it holds water for this segment.
Like, subscribe, and comment below. I completely agree. And I had heard Drive by Incubus. Again, I'm not a huge Incubus fan, but if you'd listened to the radio, the song came out in 2000. You had definitely heard this song many times. It was just, it was played probably a shit ton for it came out November 20th of 2000. So, it probably played it for 6 months or so.
I think you'd probably, if you listen to
summer
alternative radio, you'd probably still hear it. In between Five Finger Death Punch and whatever dumb shit, that they
Semi-Charmed Carnal Life. Baby.
But I will say, also not the biggest Incubus fan myself. But I do like this song. Yeah. I do like this song. I've always 100%. Liked this song. There's just there's a certain amount of melancholy and just sort of something in the chords and the way it's sung and the harmonies. I think it's a good song. And I will say, after listening to it, between this and just some friends in college that liked Incubus, I would say that there's a handful of songs that I could say that I thought were pretty good and interesting. But I know they were just a big band early, when after high school, when we would have went to college. But there was something about it that just didn't quite click with me.
Yeah, I listened to this song. I hadn't heard it for it had definitely been a while. But as soon as I started listening to it, I knew the section where it was going to transition. I thought, I was like, oh yeah, no, it's got to be this song, and I was right. It definitely was. It's pleasant to listen to. It has a really nice melody to it. I can't say that there's anything overly dynamic about the song.
No, but I think that's kind of the whole bit about it. I can
see why it was a hit.
It has this feel. It's a great feel, and it really just I don't know. I think it's aptly titled because the kind of, and I don't want to say repetitive in a bad way, but sort of some of the repetitive nature of the song is kind of like driving. So it's kind of like this, what do they call that? Word painting as well.
Sure. It's kind of it's just a standard typical song where it has this repetitiveness, but there's a lot of really good songs that are repetitive out there.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm cool with that. Now,
sorry.
I watched the video for it, which I had not seen in 2000 when it came out. And let me tell you, I thought it was pretty cool. One, it was inspired by
MC Escher.
MC Escher, which he's probably my favorite.
Those drawing
artist.
Hands.
They're just sweet. But the drawing hands, and the cool thing is, if you watch the video, it's kind of intertwines some animations along.
Yeah, I do. I thought the video was really creative.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about those animations, though. So the video intertwines the animations with just your standard kind of hey, we're in a room and we're all lip syncing and playing the song. But dude, the Brandon Boyd, the guy who's the lead singer, and the drummer, Joe, I'm going to get his name wrong, but it looks like Pacius. Dude, they're the ones who actually did the animation. Like they drew that.
That is really incredible.
That because it's if you watch it, like, it's really it's
no,
really
I did
good.
watch it, and
impressed.
I did like the video. I thought the video was really creative, and I was really disheartened to read that the video was nominated for Best Group Video at the 2001 MTV Music Video Awards and lost to fucking NSYNC. I bet that was a real fucking monumental piece of art by NSYNC. This lost to where they actually like did it kind of themselves. That's horseshit.
Well, especially when probably a band like NSYNC has, I don't know whose Incubus's record company was or who their funding was from, but NSYNC, when you got this boy band who they're throwing out there and putting, I'm sure, a bunch of glitz and glamour behind it. And I'm sure the production and the, I guess, what would you call it? All the dance move, choreography and everything is all planned out. And sure.
But I'm also sure it's like real cheese dick as opposed to being anything that would resemble, originality like this video. But anyways.
Like this video. Yeah. I bet Justin Timberlake can't do animations like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right. And I don't know if Brandon Boyd can write sexy back. I mean, it's just kind of, it's a real,
it is a toss up.
It's shit pickle, as the scholars would say.
They definitely would say that. So I think we'll move on. You want to talk about the Ashlee Simpson? I don't want to say version, but we'll talk about her song, and then maybe talk a little bit about the similarities there. It was
my answer reluctantly, but yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, it was her. So this came out. Incubus's Driven came out in 2000. Ashlee Simpson's Pieces of Me came out in 2004. So for those of you scoring at home, that's a 4-year difference. And it is the debut single off of her album Autobiography. Now, she was 19 years old when this came out.
Wow.
And the song, it was jointly written by Simpson, and then I'm going to get this woman's name wrong, Cara Diaguardi, I guess, and then John Shanks, who also produced the song, and I believe he produced the whole album as well. I might not be 100% right on that, but he played the guitar on this song too. So.
And that is where the rub is, I think.
That is where the rub is. Yes. Yeah, I think that is definitely where the rub is. The similarities that
it's not the same chords. It is not the same chord structure.
I was going to ask you.
I think it's similar, but it's not the same. It's not like the last songs of the Same Riff we did, where it's probably even in the same key and the same chord structure, but it's same really vocal, close, and it's the delivery that's what really gets me, is when you hear it, the way it's played is
Agree.
It just and the rest of the song, once Drive goes into its chorus, and of course Pieces of Me goes into I don't know what I was going to say there. Once it goes into its chorus, that's pretty much it. They're vastly different, but boy, does that in that main chorus section, it is kind of striking how much the delivery and the feel is 100%.
Yeah. Well, and I have a feeling that I mean, I don't know who to, I guess, quote unquote, blame for this. I don't want to say somebody stole it. From anything that I saw, there was no lawsuits or anything like that has been brought up. I guess I would probably have to put the onus more on John Shanks, just because he's the one who did play guitar on it. He was the producer. Yeah. Ashlee Simpson was 19 when this album came out, which means, again, if you're scoring at home and doing your math, in 2000, she would have been like 15. There's a good chance she never even heard the song Driven by Incubus.
Sure. And there's also a good chance that the producer was a fan of Incubus and liked the song Drive, and kind of, and it's funny because you can apparently bring a lawsuit for using the same chord structure or chord pattern, but I think if you were able to bring a lawsuit from these songs, to me, that is going into a really dark place, because I totally understand the whole business of copyright infringement and like directly trying to rip somebody off. But I'm sorry, you can't have a lawsuit because it fucking feels the same. That's fucked up. Like it's not intellectual property at that point. It's just, it's how it feels.
It's like, I had a bad day, you had a bad day, we feel the same, I'm going to sue you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and the thing is, feelings are not objective reality. Sorry, they're not. That's just, but it does. I think most people would say that it really has the same feel and the same sound and kind of tone, but it is not the same, even though it's delivered the same.
Well, so I dug a little deeper on John Shanks, and he played actually in Melissa Etheridge's band in 1988 and toured for her for several years. He also wrote tracks in the early 90s for Bonnie Raitt, Joe Cocker, and Tuck and Patty. Yes. Also produced or wrote on other projects with artists such as Mr. Carlos Santana, Grab 'Em by the Lapels, Celine Dion, Sting, Chris Isaac, Keith Urban, and Alanis Morissette. So he's very, very established in the music industry, production world. So I don't know. He probably goes back and forth between producing, being a studio musician, writing tracks. He's just kind of involved. So, I mean, hey, good for him.
Yeah.
But obviously he's in deep enough. And I mean, I don't want to say he, stole this or took this or anything, but
was influenced by it.
He was influenced by it. Apparently. And you would have thought that if Incubus had a problem with it, that
they would have done something.
They would have done something, because it's not like this song just like went unnoticed, dude. This song peaked at number 5. Like this is her first like big hit single. This is kind of put her on the map.
Now I don't know if you looked at this, dude.
I don't know if I did either.
The album version is 3 minutes and 37 seconds, but the radio edit, dude, is 3 minutes and 13 seconds. What kind of fucking magic have we missed by not knowing the album version?
I don't know. I think that's the version that's probably the version I listened to, though, right?
Oh, I don't know. I would assume that whatever they made the video of, which is what I watched and listened to, was probably the radio edit. And I mean, I realized that additional, 24 seconds. I mean, there's probably a lot of fucking magic in there, but too much for the radio. I mean, they probably had to get back to whatever other pop bullshit was coming out then too.
I listened to the one that I downloaded from Apple Music, and I watched the video. There could have been 20 seconds missing. Who would have known? I mean,
or 2 minutes.
Yeah. I kind of.
It was also brilliant. You just were you're taken aback.
Yes, taken aback. So yeah, it would be great if you guys out there listening, check out these 2 songs. Tell us what you think. Do they sound the same? Is there, would you file a lawsuit? I don't know. Would you?
I don't think. Well, I guess my opinion is you can't in this case, and you really didn't need to, because not long after this, Ashlee Simpson kind of derailed her own fucking career by lip syncing on SNL, and I don't think she ever really came back from that.
No.
Well, I mean, at this point, she's probably like looking to go into like, WWE or something to kind of reinvent herself.
Dude, she should get into the UFC. That would be the way to go. That would be the way to go. Yeah. Definitely. So, Ashlee, if you're out there and you're listening, hope you're doing okay. Best of luck. How's Jessica? Is Nick Lachey cool too, even though they're not together anymore?
This is going to sound really stupid, but she is her sister, correct?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I mean, I care so little that I just don't know. And I didn't even value it enough to think to myself, boy, I better look this one up.
Yeah, no, she's got to be. All right. I mean, if she's
or OJ's other daughter. I don't know. I mean, there's so many possibilities.
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
Well, with that,
riding the rails, bro. Riding the rails.
Yep. With that.
Okay. I think it's time to go on the Dude
And
Grimm
if we
Show.
are, we used to pick our favorites. I think I'm just undoubtedly going to go with
Incubus
on this. Yeah, no question. So, anyways, yeah, time to go. Bye. Scratch a Track is produced by the Dude Grimm. Additional music provided by Moore and the Tims. Copyright 2021. The Dude Grimm Show.
Got no idea where